media influencers is scary, and now the communication pros are even scarier. Hi everyone, this is Septa, and I'm doing my first vlog ever. I might be a little late, but thought now is the perfect time to start doing it, to share some thoughts, experience, or simply a story. Now, whatever I'm going to share are all basically coming from my personal opinion and experience, and I'd love to know what you also think in the comment section below. So, here it is. Today I'm going to discuss about giving constructive criticisms on a brand's or company's unsuccessful campaigns or communication attempts as a PR agency or consultancy. Many of you are well aware that with today's fast, easy, and open flow and access of information, it's very easy for us to know when a brand or company fails in their campaigns or communications efforts. And apparently, there are some in the past few months coming from well-known brands, be it for marketing, advertising, PR, and so forth. As if one wrong move, there's already someone criticizing about it, or at least giving their comments. What's worse, if there's someone demeaning, humiliating, or even bullying it, whether it's done individually or collectively as a group or institution. We usually see this when it comes to failed campaigns, mistakes in conveying the message, or using the wrong channel, or simply because of using the wrong words, or the timing just wasn't right, responding to a customer audience incorrectly, not interacting properly with other parties such as the media, influencers, public figures, and so on. There are just so many rooms for mistake if a brand or company is not careful, and it can even lead to a crisis very easily. As communications practitioners, whether if you're in-house, freelance, or agency or consultancy, we often can't hold back in giving our comments or criticisms as well. In one hand, we want to show our expertise by conveying our views on a certain case, or it can also be for educational purposes, and most of the time it's done publicly through social media, webinars, and so on, which in my opinion it's totally fine as long as we know exactly what the problem is about and the facts that we can find and cross-check. What needs to be avoided though is giving comments or criticisms that deviate from the events or facts that actually occurred, because that's no different from conveying false or misleading information. But what's even worse, in my opinion, is when a PR communications practitioner starts to humiliate or bully a certain brand or company because of their failed PR or marketing efforts. Moreover, a PR agency that demeans or humiliates or bully or attack a certain brand, but apparently in the end it's part of their selling or promotional activity, or simply to uplift the social media contents. In this kind of cases, I genuinely think those kinds of practices are unethical. I mean, there are so many more ethical and creative ways to promote your agency and content. Then again, commenting and criticizing is totally fine as long as it's consistent with the facts and then conveyed in a constructive manner, not disparaging. Now, someone might say, I want the comments or criticisms to be powerful, so it's heard enough. So this brand or company are pushed to be more aware of the significance of PR. And if they need help, they might seek us for assistance. Yes, I understand that. I've met with a lot of prospects who underrates PR and they think it's an easy job and thinks that they've been doing PR correctly all this time, or companies that implements campaigns that are reckless or inconsiderate or even demeaning certain groups of people. Trust me, I'm as upset as you are. But here's the thing, as PR practitioners, we do have the responsibility to educate the market that improper campaigns or communication efforts may offend or attack certain groups of people and therefore must be reassessed. If they need help, immediately seek for professional assistance. This is very, very important. But on the other hand, we don't want these brands or companies to be afraid to explore or improve their PR efforts. Like, uplifting my brand's communication efforts is scary, engaging with the public, media, influencers is scary, and now the communication pros are even scarier. This can make them more introverted, hindering them from improving their PR efforts, let alone exploring opportunities with PR agencies or consultancies such as ourselves. This is what we want to avoid. We want to comment and criticize enough, but I personally believe there are professional boundaries that PR practitioners like us in this market need to know. Unless you are protesting about something involved in certain movement or running a petition, that's a totally different context. So what's a good way to convey our comments or criticisms towards brands or companies as a PR practitioner? Publicly through social media or other speaking opportunities like interviews, webinars, classes online, etc. In response to failed campaigns or unsuccessful communications efforts. Allow me to share some simple tips and quick reminders on this, coming from my personal opinion based on the experience that I have so far. Focus on how to change. I just can't stress this enough. Criticisms can be constructive when they are framed appropriately. We may need to mention the name of the brand or company multiple times for context purposes, but frame it in a way that the focus is on the change that needs to occur without resorting to accusations or derogatory tone and comments. Frame the criticism to include the benefit to the brand or company making that change. Change the focus from you or them to how it helps deliver the message. Always try to give specific examples and suggestions. This keeps the discussion focused and gives a concrete area of improvement and prevent businesses from potentially feel being attacked. Give your intention some attention. I heard this from a business coach, Gina Gomez. Think about why we feel the need to share the criticism. If it's truly to drive certain improvements, make our approach from a place of how we'd want the comment or criticism conveyed to us, or to our brand or our company, or to our agency, or even to our team. Point out opportunities, not faults. I understand that we may need to put some context when commenting or explaining about the case that we're discussing about, but don't just point out faults. Instead, we should also point out the opportunities that they could have secured if their campaigns or communications efforts were done right. That way, it gives more credibility in our message and makes your audience believe more in your expertise. Use emotional intelligence. Consider our emotional state before delivering the criticism. Are we anxious, irritated, overly excited, and so forth? If so, we may be initiating an attack that could backfire. Constructive criticism starts with respect for the brand's or company's dignity. Choose your words wisely. Select those that do not put brands and companies on the defensive. Keep our emotions and ego out of it, as they can derail our message. Give professional opinion instead of emotional release. Take some time to understand how the comment or criticism can impact our audience's perspective to obtain the desired outcome. Build a bridge, don't burn one. The intention of constructive criticism is to also help push some awareness and understanding. The goal from there is to get our expertise recognized by others and build networking opportunities. The last thing we want is to get businesses staying away from us because of the harsh and no solution comments that we make. So there it is, my thoughts on how PR agencies or consultancies should give constructive criticisms on a brand's or company's unsuccessful campaigns or communications attempts. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. I'd really love to also know what you think about this, and feel free to discuss or let me know in the comment section below. Stay safe and see you around.